My name is Ervin Bryson, Head Coach, General Manager of the Vermont Bucks Indoor Arena Football Team. I'm currently from Abbeville, South Carolina, a very small town, football town, very athletic town. Football is everything. It is a sports town, but football is the biggest thing that I feel holds our community together. Friday night, everything's shut down. Everybody's at the football game, whether it's a away game or home game. And when we have a home game, there's no store in town that's open. And then we're on a away game, all you got to do is follow the 200 or 300 cars just leaving out of town that's headed to the football stadium. So the visiting teams love when we come in town because they know they're going to make some money because the community really gets behind the football. So I love the fact that I am from a football town. So I'm from a family of 10. I am number 9. And I love my mom so much. I tell her thank you every time because really she could have stopped at 8 and she continued. And number 9, that here I am. But yeah, I'm a family guy. I love the fact that I'm from a big family. The biggest thing I remember the most about being a kid growing up is that, we had to rotate every year on who cleaned up the dishes and everything like that. So one year I was stuck pile high with a bunch of dishes. And the next year, I went and cut some grass, picked some pecans, I bought those paper cups and plates and things like that, so it cut down on my dishwashing, and I just ended up having to throw everything in the trash. But that was some of the craziest things that we did as a big family. But coming from a big family of 10, man, there's always something going on, and I'm the glue of the family. I keep everybody together. I make sure everybody's laughing, having a good time. Because if I don't make sure everybody laughing, having a good time, man, some furniture gonna get moved around probably. Yeah. Oh man, I remember my first year of football, and as decent as I turned out being a football player, my first year of playing football, I rode the bench the whole season. And I felt so embarrassed and so bad because I knew I was much better than what the coach saw because I played pickup football in the projects like every day, and I'm dominating everybody. But it's more to playing pickup football because you play regular football, it's organized. And when it's organized, you don't get to do those things that you normally do when you're out there with the boys just running around. But finally, I didn't play running back. I played tight end. The smallest guy on the field, and they had me playing tight end. Didn't have any cleats, played in tennis shoes. So I remember we was playing against this team in Calum Falls, and they put me in, we ran Statue of Liberty. First time ever getting on the field. I ran Statue of Liberty, came around, got the football, went 60 yards for a touchdown. I ran out of bounds about 30 yards back, and I was still running out of bounds while I was going down the sideline. I thought I'd scored a touchdown, but I was out of bounds. But it was so funny. So they called it back. They're like, "Where you going, man? We've been blowing the whistle a long time ago." But it was pretty cool, though. That was my biggest memory. And then after that, it was over. I became the starting tailback. I was 9 years old. Yeah, I was 9 years old. I first started playing football when I was 9, playing baseball when I was 8. Yeah. So I love baseball, but football was the thing I turned up doing. I mean, growing up in the project was very tough, and it had its good moments as well. It was a lot of things that happened in the project that I saw as a kid, and the main things is the things that I learned from the older guys, and the older guys, man, they love playing football, they play basketball, and those guys that played sports are the guys that I looked up to because in the hood, as we call it over in the hood, that there are some things that just don't happen. That's just mother and father, and that don't happen. It's just a mother raising everybody in the projects, in the community, and then you got the older guys who are like head of the households, those are the guys you kind of look up to. So those guys kind of taught me everything that I know about the game of sports and life. So being in the project, I can say I really learned a lot growing up there because I had some great memories, some great times. And maybe someday I can go back there and maybe do something for the place. You gotta think about it. In the project, when I was growing up, it was about, I want to say probably about a total of about 100 kids. And you had about 70 guys, and these guys was doing all kind of things. Some of them was selling drugs, some of them was running in the streets. Some of them was just fighting all the time, constantly doing something bad. But I can say that the guys that noticed how talented I was, they always tried to get me to do something positive. They never would allow me to do anything bad. And then if I tried to do anything bad, somebody's going to grab me up by my collar and say, no, this is not what you want to do. So it was pretty cool. You know, I tell you, one of the biggest moments I thought was my weakest moment. I remember when I was like, I want to say 8 years old, and we were playing football on Thanksgiving. And I'm the smallest guy on this in this pickup game, and these guys are 24, 25, 30 years old. And I'm playing in the backfield. So they run a toss sweep to me. I call myself bouncing it outside. And then this guy, about 28, came up and nailed me. Hit me so hard, I slid out of bounds. I slid underneath the fence. And the fence was sticking into my leg, the sharp part. And I was sitting down there crying. And all I could hear was like, get up. You better not be down there crying. You know, and I was like trying to pull the fence out. I'm like, God, this guy not see the wires in my leg, you know? And finally I got it out, limped over to the huddle, and then that's all I could hear was like, get a ball back to him, and you better score. And man, I was so scared when I got the football, went 80 yards, touchdown. I was awesome. I was so scared that them boys gonna jump on me for not being tough, you know? And that made me be tough after that.
How old were you when this happened?
8 years old. Oh, that's more stuff. I remember playing basketball. When you're 8 years old, I remember when I was 8 also, we played basketball also. And I thought I was going to play guard because I was the smallest guy there. So I went up there like I was going to play guard. Like, what are you doing? They put me back at forward. So here I am, 8 years old, trying to scrap to get the rebound. I remember getting my first rebound. A guy went by, elbowed me, and threw me down into the ground, you know. But the thing about it, I was so happy that the fact that I was the smallest kid out there. I got a rebound, and I felt pretty good. I can say I had this one coach. His name was Asa Griffin, and he was my baseball coach. And he really got me started in playing organized sports. And I can remember not even having free time, especially on the weekend, because I remember him coming picking me up every Saturday morning. And I thought I was going on a job, and I was in his backyard every day, catching a baseball, swinging, taking ground balls, you know, and everybody would wonder how come I hit it so well. And I know because he rode my butt every day. I remember getting out of school, he would come pick me up, we would go practice, and man, he was like a father, you know, and he did a lot for me. And I just hate the fact when he died, nobody told me, and I never did get a chance to come back, you know, and pay my respects. But I really owe a lot to the time that he put in with me as a kid, and no, it's pretty nice. I think that's what makes me want to try to help so many people now, because of the fact that, you know, the amount of time he put in with me, not having a father around, and him being like a father figure, but allowing me to do something that I really love, and that's playing sports. And I owe a lot to, with everything that he did for me.
Did you do that for other kids? Just you? Other kids?
Well, it was other kids, but yeah, it was mainly me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mainly me.
Cool.
Yeah, no. He was just a regular Pop Warner youth ball coach, you know, and he just, oh, I forgot this. I got to tell you this right here. This is so funny. I remember when me and about 5 other kids, when we came along, his baseball team was really struggling at the time. And he knew that he needed to get some quality athlete kids on his team. And he spotted me and 5 other guys out the group, and he knew he was going to select us. So he went to us and took us to his car. I remember him. He got in his car and got left-handed gloves, and he made us throw the ball left-handed like we were sorry ball players. And nobody wouldn't pick us up. So when we came around for his selection, he picked me and 5 other guys, and we won a championship 4 years in a row. Oh, man, I'll never forget that. You talking about it was fun. I mean, we can remember that. When I go home, me and some of the guys that were selected, you know, we talk about that to this day. You know, he was putting that left-handed glove on, throwing the ball like we couldn't hardly throw, you know, and swinging. We had to bat left-handed so we couldn't hit the ball because he already knew what we could do, right? And, man, you talking about something was funny, you know, but we were powerful. We had a real good team, but those guys on that team was very close. I remember, I got to tell you, I remember this one game we played against this guy named Mike Jones. Had a real good curve base. He throwed a nice curve. And he struck everybody out. We ended up losing the game probably by about 6-7 runs. And AC called practice that Saturday morning. We practiced for 8 hours on a Saturday. And he taught us that curveball that Mike was throwing, you know. And we were killing it, man. So we played the Panthers again. The same guy was pitching. We only played 4 innings. We beat them by almost 15, 16 runs. Game got stopped in 4 innings. So he took pride in everything that he did. He tried to make sure that we were the best. And there was no room for failure. You know, if you had a weakness in your game, he always made sure that he gave us the advantage, showed us what it is that we need to do to get ahead. And we beat everybody pretty bad every year. What the amazing thing about Asa was, he was something that happened to him at one time, I forgot what the story was, but one of his arms was shorter than the other. So he did everything practically with one arm, you know. And when we threw back and forward, he didn't use a glove. He used that one hand. And I would be nailing it. He'll be throwing it and be nailing it and throwing it. I was like, wow. You know, some of the things that he did with us, you know, it was incredible, you know. But the thing is, he never allowed that one arm to be a handicap. You know, he was just able to show us all these things. He had both arms. We had both arms, and he only had 1.5. But he was able to do so much, and we learned so much from him, man. It was incredible. So I guess that's why I'm so into coaching, because of the fact of the things he did with me and some of the other kids. I tell you what, he thought of everything, you know. And now that we're talking, some of the guys told me that. So you think of everything. You know what? And I guess it stemmed back from being around Asa, because he thought of everything. One thing is that, you know, and the baseball is part of summertime. And in summertime meaning that you're going to go swimming, you know. And he would not allow us to do those kind of activities, especially when we know we had a ball game. Because he felt like swimming did something with slowing you down and you weren't able to focus like you should. But, you know, I guess he was right, because sometimes we were kind of drowsy, you know, from swimming or doing some kind of other activity. But when we were focused, we were a well-oiled machine, and we dominated like crazy. So, no, I think it was always in me. I remember I want to say about age 12, 13, you know, we had back in the neighborhood, we had what you call a wall at the top of the projects, you know, and we would always sit up on top of the wall, you know, watch cars go by, like, that's going to be my car, that's going to be my car, you know, doing stuff like that, you know, and then we would jump over to talk about sports, you know, and we would always talk about, someday I'm going to be a professional athlete, you know, and we were talking about those dreams of, you know, some guys was talking about other things they want to do in life, and all I could think about is someday playing in the NFL, you know, and guys would be like, you're crazy, you're never going to do that, you're never going to do this and do that. But that very thing of those guys saying that you're not going to be able to do kind of pushed me more to show them that I could do that, you know, because those guys that were like naysayers, they were more of a motivational thing for me. So early on, I knew then, when I was about 12, 13, that someday I was going to be doing something professionally, you know, because sports is what I wanted to do. And I wanted my livelihood, whatever I do for my family, it's going to become from me playing sports, something with sports, you know. It's a part of me. I think the people that I hung around with, you know, my friends, guys like Calvin Donaldson, my brother, you know, and some of the guys that I grew up with, those guys were football guys. So guys that I hung out with, they played sports, you know, and we did the same thing, you know, whether it's going to the weight room, go and play basketball. We did so many things together, and then it always came back to sports. So I knew sometime or another that I was going to be affiliated. Sports was always going to be me. I couldn't picture myself doing nothing else in life but dealing with sports. Ever since I was a kid, I remember, when Mom told us, get outside and play. She really didn't have to tell me. She was talking to my other brothers and sisters. I knew that when I woke up in the morning, that when the lights come on the light at night on that pole, we had this pole in the projects, and when it comes on, that means that time to go to the house, right? So I know when I woke up, I'm going to be playing sports all day long till the light come on, then I'm going to go back to the house. So, my friends were a great influence on me. I remember when I got ready to go to college, some of my buddies who trained me. I remember when I came out of college and got prepared to get drafted into this new pro league, my best friend, Calvin, trained me, and these are guys these are football guys, these are sports guys. And so those guys had a big influence on me. They always saw me as the star football player, but they don't realize that how much I leaned on our friendship and the things that we did together to make me who I am now. Wow. I tell you what, by my freshman year of college, I was supposed to go to Arizona Western Junior College, and at the last minute I backed out, and I didn't want to go so far away from home. So I called Shawan, and Shawan recruited me coming out of high school, and they were a junior college, and it was like, Coach, I can't guarantee you anything, just come on up. And when I came up, he sent me a workout plan to do so I could get myself in shape. And there were 16 other running backs. I was number 17. And when I got there, all you can ever hear, we had to run like 40 wind sprints in the morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning before we did our 8 o'clock practice. And all you could ever hear when we ran those wind sprints, slow down, Abbeville, slow down, Abbeville. And I was from Abbeville. And I kept leading every sprint. So in high school, you had to lead every sprint because if you didn't go all out, Coach Henry's going to be in your butt about not giving you all, right? So I stood out of 17 running backs. I looked like I was much better than everybody else. And the more I kept going all out 100% on everything that I did, when they started putting us in groups, Abbeville go with the first group. And man, that was an awesome moment. I knew then I wasn't going to look back, and I know I was on my way then. Yeah. And you got to think about it. I came from a small town, and I'm in a small town, but I'm amongst guys that are just as good as I am. But the only difference in them and me, I worked a little bit harder than everybody else because I knew I came from Abbeville, and I come from a football town. So if I want to stay on that same level that I was in high school, that means I had to do something totally different. And I figured that everything I did, I had to go to the extreme, do much more. I had to make myself be noticed by all. You got 17 running backs. And if you want to be the number one guy, you got to do something different than everybody else to get yourself noticed. So I was already behind the 8 ball. Those guys were already on the coach's chart. Those guys were already ahead of me. So I knew that I had to do something totally different so I can stand out. I remember when I found out that I couldn't play football no more. And when I had that last knee operation, the second knee operation, doctor told me that I wasn't going to be able to play the game no more. And I'm talking about I'm 25 years old, and he was like, you can't play no more. And if you do, you're going to have a kneecap replacement. And then you won't be able to play with your grandkids later on in life. So I had to make a decision right then that, I got to do something different. I was crying like a baby for about like 2 weeks. I decided to pick myself up and say, look, how about let's try coaching. And when I tried to try coaching, I like coaching. So my thing was next is that there's more to just coaching. There's the business side and there's the football side. And I want to know everything about the game that I love and what it details. So I started coaching and owning a semi-pro football team. So now when I decided to go that path, I had to learn the business side of what makes football football. And football cannot operate without the business side. You have to get all these necessary things that the team needs. So I began to learn how to run a football team, how to build a football team, and how to go about generating dollars for the football team. And every sports has a budget. Well, you got to know how to generate the money to take care of that budget. So I felt like me learning the business side of football makes me more valuable, you know. And I feel like it has helped me out along the way because now I'm doing double duty. I'm not only building the football, but I'm helping run the business side of a football team. So it's a lot of work, but it's exciting, it's fun because I know that ball players that come in here, I know they're going to be taken care of. So is there enough money to do this? Is there enough money to do that? Sure it is, because these are the things that we did in order to cover our responsibilities so that we can bring ball players in, you know, and take care of them, make sure they be successful, and that we give the fans what they're looking for at a football game. So all those things are very important to me, and I'm excited that I do both sides of like both sides of the ball, whether it's business or it's dealing with football. Well, I figured out myself. I tried to reach out to a lot of people, but I didn't get those answers. You know, people in this business sometimes think that, you know, if you learn their job, you're going to take their job. So I learned now to bring people around me that wants to take my job. Because if you want to take my job, that means that we have a lot of me's around. And so I know what I bring to the table and I know what we need. So if you know what we need and you're willing to do what I'm capable of doing, so a lot of ground is getting covered. So I'm not one that's never intimidated by somebody that's going to give me information. You know, it's only going to make you better. It makes me better. But it's hard to get that information from some people. So like for me, guys like working with me because they know I'm going to challenge them and I'm going to make them better. Because that's my responsibility. People make me better at a young age. I'm going to make them better if they're going to be dealing with me. One is know what it is that you want to do. And if you know what it is what you want to do, you know about how to go about doing it. Number two, have a plan. Always have a plan. And if you got a plan, you stand by your plan, you stick to your plan. No matter what goes wrong, no matter what somebody try to do to distract you, stay on that path on what it is that you want to do. And three, when you accomplish that goal, start a new plan. Start all over again. Always make yourself stay hungry. Always keep striving to want to do better. You know, if you accomplish one thing, start working on the next thing. Because you never want to get complacent of doing anything in life. You know, you want to always you want to be the best at whatever you do. For example, me being in Vermont, learning how to play the game Mexican Train, a very competitive game. Love the game. I'm addicted to the game. So these people have been playing the game much longer than me, 3-4 years, and some of them in the 3-4 years they've been playing have not won one game. So for me, I've been playing now for 3 months. I've won like 4 times.
What's Mexican Train?
It's a dominoes game. It's all about strategy. Football is strategy. So now I'm playing this game that is all about, it's a numbers game. If you can't think, you can't concentrate, you don't know how to put a plan together, you have to play Mexican Train and win. You have to be able to put a plan together on how you're going to go out, okay? So once you put your plan together and you got your way out, guess what? Somebody else can mess your plan up. How well do you adjust when you get thrown off and come back? That's when you learn how to win. And that's how come now I know how to win, and they're still trying to figure it out. Not tooting my horn a little bit, but I love it. I love to win. Okay, I love to win. Can't stand losing. I hate it. I mean, this has got to be one of the most exciting season that I foresee happening. One is that we're finally in a situation where we're going to be able to put the football team together the way it needs to be put together. We're going to be able to house the guys. We're going to be able to feed the guys. We're going to be able to play a whole season. We got a community that's surrounding the team, that's supporting the team. And the ball players that are going to be coming in to play guys of character, people that, you know, you're going to want to have come into the community to speak to the kids, do autograph signing. Man, you're going to want to meet these guys. This football team has got to be, say, by far, in my 11 years of doing this, has to be my best team put together. So I'm very excited about this team. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I like our chances of playing the championship game June the 17th here in Vermont at Gunnison Fieldhouse. Hey, the magical word is experience. This is going to be the experience of your life. So come to Gunnison Fieldhouse, March the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Right now, go get yours, the whole family tickets at vermontbucks.com. Click on tickets and pick your seats out. This is going to be the most fun you ever had in your life. I'm talking about music, heritage forwards, driving the trucks on the field. I'm talking about I'm downright out good time. So come, get your tickets, and let's have fun. Go Bucks.